Good morning. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 Remote Off-Grid Homestead Series. Alright. I'm going to reposition my trailer because my line of greenhouses is getting quite long here, so no longer practical to keep carting everything down here. Alright, one crate of peppers it looks like. One pallet. Get one pallet of peppers. That might turn into 2 pallets tomorrow. Oh, 3 pallets of enoki mushrooms today. Oh, I know what's going on. I didn't change this trailer back. I forgot to put the cargo straps on it. Sorry, game engine, I didn't mean to confuse you like that. This game engine's so easily confused you think it was Russian instead of German. Sometimes I wonder why pallets just like to stick to the forks like that. I wonder if the game counts all greenhouse pallets as weighing the same or if they have individual weights. So that might make a difference to how I load. Alright. An extra pallet of enoki mushrooms. And then the first pallet of chili peppers. And on top of it, 4 pallets of flour into storage. Now, I ordered some seeds and some fertilizer last time, so they'll be waiting at the shop for me. So that means I'm going to have to transfer the WIFO over to the Unimog. Maybe I should just buy a second one for the Unimog. Maybe eventually, but right now I don't think I use it enough to justify that. $10,000 is still quite a chunk of money. There will, of course, come a time in this series where $10,000, that's just chump change, but I ain't there yet. Alright, I'll see you at the shop. Alright, here I am at the shop. Wow. 9,500. Wow. Nice, nice, nice. Something I gotta watch out for here at the shop. While I can load with the Unimog, the turning radius is so bad on this thing. And RP mod prevents me from using super strength to just pretend that the shop loaded it. Alright, I'll see you back at the farm. Alright, here I am back at the farm. I'll get these pallets put away. I have an idea here. That worked. Alright, go ahead and advance next day now. Alright. Welcome to the month of August. And my oats are ready to harvest. Hooray. So after I get the greenhouse loading done, I am going to go ahead and combine the oats. Alright. Let's see if I get 2 pallets of chili peppers since I've had a full day now to grow chili peppers. Yes, I do. Yeah, alright. So it might be just oyster mushrooms are the only 1 pallet a day. I still have 3 more to build. I still gotta do spring onions, Napa cabbage, and garlic. Napa cabbage is notoriously non-profitable. Maybe that's the reason why. I did Napa cabbage back on my very first Farming Simulator 25 series down at Kincaid and Riverbend Springs. That's been so long ago I forgot, you know, what the productivity of the greenhouse was back then. Plus my knowledge of the game itself has increased so much since then. But coming into it, I had a pretty good base of knowledge from Farming Simulator 22, which that was almost more of a trap than a help. I haven't gotten the year 2 season pass yet. But I imagine I probably will. It's so much cheaper than buying all the expansions individually. Matter of fact, a new expansion just came out today. I looked at it. It's mostly for hay and slurry injection, which, you know, not exactly bad. But I'm not working at the scale I'm going to need that sort of stuff yet. Hopefully in time I will, but I don't need it right now. I'll take some of this flour down to storage with me. Yeah, all these oats are going to go straight into the windmill. Same with the sunflowers. That honey pallet's getting pretty close to full. So once that gets full, that can go in storage. Honey doesn't spoil, so it can wait for best day to sell. That's where all this greenhouse stuff has to go the same day. Although since I'm doing 2-day months, each, quote-unquote day is more like 2 weeks. Okay, I'll see you at the shop. Alright, here we are at the shop. And 9,600. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna head back to the farm. Alright, here I am back at the farm. Go ahead and stage up the Unimog over here by the oats. That looks good. And since it is the first of the month, I need to do the water for the greenhouses, so I'll grab the pickup and knock that out quick like. There's no skill involved in this or anything, so I'm just going to skip the watering. Because at least when I'm handling pallets or something, there's at least a little something to show that what I'm doing. But putting water in greenhouses is brainless. So, I'll be back when I'm done watering. Alright, all the greenhouses are full of water again. So let's grab the combine. Other than the fact that it shudders when backing up, I've been very happy with this combine. Something I did not expect, though, is I planted this headland of grass figuring I could just turn on it safely. But I should have left it field grass because for some reason, once it gets the GPS lines on that field, it doesn't want to pop back onto this field. And for the life of me, I don't know why. Alright, but I'll be back when I get all this combining done. Alright, just a little bit of oat left here. I'm not sure how this got missed with using the GPS, but it did, so I'll go ahead and grab that quick like. Alright. Go ahead and auger out the oats here in the combine. I'm not quite ready to do green beans next year. Maybe the year after. But I think I want to do sorghum next year. Alright. Let's see how the combine is doing for maintenance. Not bad. Looks like I need a quart of oil, and that's about it. A couple grease zerks and the header's good. That's a great thing about old machinery. It really don't cost all that much to maintain. Let's get all cleaned up so nothing bad happens. Just keeping chaff and plant residue in the bottom of the header while it's not useful. It will acquire moisture from the air and then just sit in there and rusting out your header. Same thing happens to asphalt if you don't keep your asphalt clean. That holds water, and the water just erodes the sand and the stone in the asphalt, leaving nothing but the bitmus, which is then dissolved by the sunlight. Header. Alright, hook up to my baler. Reset the counter. 60 grass hay bales last time. Let's see how many straw bales we get out of the oat straw. If I remember right, it was 117 from the wheat. All three of these fields are roughly about the same size. They're not exactly the same size, they're only roughly the same size, but yeah. Unfold the baler. Now, since the pickup on this baler's on the wrong side, it causes problems with bales, so I'm gonna bale a row and then come through with the trailer and pick up the bales. Instead of baling the entire field, then picking them up. Because instead of just passing down the left side of the baler like it should, the bales end up having to pass down the right side of the baler, which has where the pickup should be. See? Like that. That's where if it was doing properly, it wouldn't be a problem. See, like right there, yeah. At least over here I don't have to worry about running anything over with the oilseed radish in this field. I think my future fields I'm going to make the roadways between them wider. At least the tractor's width wide. So instead of just being field markers, there'll be roadways between the fields. Which will be much easier because with additional lands, I won't have to worry as much about cramming everything into the same into one relatively small space. Right here. Damn bales get caught on what should be the pickup. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I've picked up all the hay straw bales. So I ended up with 124 bales of straw. So the oats gave a little bit more straw, a little bit less grain. Alright. Why unload bales? Go ahead and put the Unimog back. Alright, let's consult the planting calendar. Alright, so we're in August. We can plant canola. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to plant canola and yeah, I'm going to plant canola in the center field. No, maybe not. I'll put oilseed radish in the center field here first. Next year I'll plant some sorghum. I want to try a crop of barley. I want to put barley in the silty field and see how that does in the silty field. Because barley supposedly doesn't need as much fertility as wheat does. At least traditionally. I don't know for sure that's how it works here in Farming Simulator, but repair the tractor again. And the WIFO baler needs just a little bit of work. Might need the baler one more time this year to bale hay. But I'm done with straw for the year. turn on crop sensor. Hey. There we go. See, the way I drive into the field a little bit like that makes me want to widen my farm roads to prevent crop damage. But logically, the small amount of crop I'm damaging with the front tires is vastly offset by the amount of extra crop I get for the rest of the road here that is, you know, just a walking path wide instead of being a driving lane wide. Alright, but I'll go ahead and get this planting done and then I'll be back. Okay, coming up here on the last pass of canola. And canola is done. Alright. Well, I got a few minutes of video time left here, so I'm gonna go ahead and advance to the next day. All I'm gonna have to do tomorrow is load up the greenhouse stuff and take that in to be sold. Alright, did I convert the... Yeah, I don't remember if I converted the trailer back to put the straps back on it, so I'm gonna have to check that quick like. No, I did not. Alright. Yeah, loading the pallets don't work very well if it doesn't have the straps. It's kind of convenient that the anchor bolts right down the center of the trailer perfectly mark the width of a pallet. I don't think it was intentional, but it works. Matter of fact, I know it wasn't intentional since this was intended to be a hay trailer. So it's pure coincidental that the anchor bolts attaching the bed to the running gear are exactly the width of a pallet. some flour down to storage as I go down to that end to bring back pallets. Nope, that honey pallet isn't quite ready yet. Almost. Flour production's going pretty well. Hopefully I'll be able to turn through all this flour by the time the sunflowers hit that windmill. That way I don't have to run both oil and flour at the same time. I'm not exactly sure, but shouldn't oat flour be oatmeal? Or is there such a thing as oat flour that's ground finer than oatmeal? Because I know wheat flour that I used to cook with is much, much finer than oatmeal is. Or cornmeal, for that matter. Alright. I'll see you at the shop. Alright, here I am at the shop. Hmm. Um. Yeah, 9,000. Nice. All right. Head back to the farm. All right. Here I am back at the farm. All right. I'm going to end this episode right here. Thank you very much for watching.